everyone, and welcome to another episode of Voices of Hult. Today we have the pleasure to stay here with one of the most clever, intelligent people for Hult, because they are part of the team that won the top 10 position at Harvard Business Case. So here they are. Here we do have Zane from Kazakhstan and Tino from Zimbabwe. Welcome
Welcome
guys.
to Voices of Hult, guys. How are you today?
Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Very good.
Well, just let us know about yourself, like some information, I don't know, you want to share?
Sure. My name is Tino Daishe, but you can call me Tino. My mom does. Everybody does. I'm from Zimbabwe, as I mentioned earlier. And yeah, I'm an MBA student currently, Bachelor of Science in Economics. I love problem solving. That's my thing. So happy to be here.
Nice.
Great.
Thank you, Tina.
So my full name is Zhanseit, but guys are calling me Zane, and it perfectly works for me. And I'm from Kazakhstan. I don't know if you heard about this country, but it's somewhere in between Russia and China.
I have a few friends from there, so
Yeah,
you're not here alone.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else from Kazakhstan here?
Yes.
In Hult? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Perfect. We do have a community of Kazakhstan people here. Great. And you are part, you're two members of a team of 5, right?
Yes.
That really took this project, the Harvard Business Case, with your friends from MBA, your classmates,
Right.
and you started working on it, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about your colleagues, but as well this project that you embarked on?
Would you like to start?
Sure, happy to. So our colleagues who are sadly not here, we love them so much. Toby, we have Toby from Germany, Florian from Germany as well, and Neandre. So they're all part of the MBA team, and they were so important, so pivotal for us in our team, in our group, and really brought 110% of all their energy into the case.
Representing your team.
100%.
Yes.
Love my
Yeah.
team so much.
Yeah.
Zain is the leader of our team. And effectively, between the 5 of us, we embarked on this project to join the Harvard Global Case Competition, M&A case. And I guess the finance brains of our team was Yandre, who's got a CFA, so super great.
Yes.
The rest of us are pretty out of our depths as far as finance, but we have skills in engineering with Zain, who's I guess brilliant and has done a lot of work with equipment, manufacturing for global companies in the energy space. And, myself and Toby in the strategy space as well. And Florian also has some financial skills. So good mix of skills that we had across the board and just a powerful and really hardworking team.
Nice. Actually, that sounds such a diverse and variegated
Yes.
team. Like you were saying, 5 people, 4 different nationalities, and so much different background as well. I didn't know that. But guys, how did you gather together? How did that happen? Where did you say, okay, you know what? The 5 of us are going to be a team for the Harvard Business Case.
Yeah, how did you heard about the Harvard Business Case? How this all started? I don't think you just land in Boston saying I'm going to go to the Harvard Business Case. So how you heard about it, how you involved into it? I don't know if you can tell me more about that.
Right. So, well, actually, we are MBA students, right? So one of our primary goal was after the graduation to go to the consulting firm, consulting domain. And we thought that it would be a very good complement to our MBA to have some kind of extracurricular.
Got it.
And it was the Harvard case. So we have to give credits for Hult Consulting Club so that they acquainted us with the Harvard case, and they actually shared this information all over the Hult. So that was one of the moments when we realized, wow, that is so cool, because the price is $10,000, which is
Nice.
which is a very good amount of money. The second was the good complimentary for our MBA at Hult, the mini MBA at Harvard. If you win, of course, top 3 would get the mini MBA.
Got it.
And in addition to that, it's very, I would say, outstanding experience to understand how the mergers and acquisitions works.
How many teams were participating there?
Wow, I think it was 700 submissions?
I think that this year was record breaking, but it was 200.
Oh, okay.
something like
200?
this.
Okay,
All over the
okay.
world. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning something about the Hult Consulting Club. So, FYI, we have a Hult Consulting Club here.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
that's one. And they were making like a meeting. How do you met this group of people?
And who was presenting in
Right.
this panel, if I can say so?
Sure. So Hult Consulting Club hosted this event, and they actually had Leo Malber. That's how you say his name. So he actually was part of the winning team last year, and they actually won the Harvard Global Case competition.
Nice. And
So-
he was from Hult, right?
He's from Hult. So
Hult
he's a-
alumni.
He's a
I
Hult
see.
alumni. He's doing really well. He's out in, I think, New York it is. So he was actually visiting from there on campus, and
Right.
he was sort of sharing his journey, sharing his experience, and just what a wonderful opportunity it was and the impact it had on his career. So it was great and inspiring to hear from someone who was actually a finalist, who actually did the work, and that gave us
Nice.
an advantage as Hult.
Shout out to what's the name?
Leo.
Leo. Shout out to Leo.
Yes.
Shout out.
Motivating all the Hult students.
Thank
You
you.
see? You see, like Hult is not about like creating connections between like the class and different classmates and inside one campus, but as well like from alumni,
Yeah.
and then come back to campus and want to give back to the
Right.
community
Right.
that they give.
Absolutely.
So yeah, talking about people, how did you gather all of those 5 people together? What did you meet? Like, of course, like you were saying that you are from all MBAs, but how did you come up with the idea? Okay, we're gonna be a team. We're gonna do this project, and we're gonna work for the rest of our days
Correct.
together.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people working in the Harvard Business Case,
Yeah.
like here, like in rooms for
Right.
hours and hours, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing
Until-
here? Harvard Business Case.
Until 2 a.m. Seriously, people were staying here with the whole group, all of them. And I think, of course, it's like, very creating unity,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
But can be a little bit frustrating if you don't select properly your team. So tell us, like, what is the very beginning of your stories, and how is your team? How
Were
did
you like, I
two go?
want you, I want you? How was it?
I don't know, like, what about you, Tino? But in my specific case, we were lucky enough to have 2 months. So we had the program, and after 2 months,
Got it.
we got recognition that the Hard case gonna start, let's say, in 2023. So we had plenty of time to know each other, to know the skills, like hard skills, soft skills, where we are good at, where we are bad at, and are we really good human beings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we good in sitting in the same room, talk to each other till 2 a.m., and would it be okay for us? And when I saw folks, Tino, Toby, Yandre, and Florian, I realized, oh my God, like, that are the people with whom I'd like to be in the same room. And personally speaking, I have to add that in my specific case, I was so curious about the M&A case. Tino can admit I had no experience about
Yeah.
valuation, about finance, and she is telling that I'm coming from the engineering background. So I was really curious and I wanted to learn. So I'd like to message to folks who'd like to participate is that please don't be afraid and just go for it.
Absolutely, Zain. I agree with that. And for me, I think I got really lucky to just be involved. The only girl, with a team of guys. So that was a very cool dynamic as well. But I just sort of bumped into the group of guys at Little Lingo. So we had been in class writing
And
a
Little
final
Lingo.
exam. Okay. So if you don't
What
know
is Little Lingo?
Exactly.
What is that?
Little Lingo is our bar downstairs, a great place for networking and connecting at Hult. It's super great.
We're drinking also.
So drinking also good affordable drinks, so
Right.
highly recommend.
Right.
So we were just sort of winding down as we typically do after a difficult exam, and we just got talking about the end of the semester, the fall semester. And I sat down with Zain, we started talking, and he said, hey, we're having this case competition, we're looking into it. I said, oh, I'm really interested as well. And that's sort of how we started gathering a team. He already had been having similar conversations with our MBA classmates as well. So it just sort of naturally came together.
That is amazing. Like a gathering and talking about business in front of a beer, like
Yeah.
right after class, right up there down in the campus.
In the same building.
In the same
Exactly.
building, in the first floor. And I think these are the moments or spaces where you share yourself like so natural with your colleagues and classmates. And I think that's the best way to do networking or make connections, because you're like not thinking about like if you go to a networking event, you're thinking and everyone knows like they are just there to meet each other because of networking. Here, you're just like meeting people, making friends.
Right.
And those are the connections that actually last forever, because these are like genuinely interested in knowing you, right? So
Exactly.
I fully agree.
And indeed, like for what we were talking before about networking, like we were saying that you had the opportunity to meet here the alumni, Hult alumni that won the last time the competition. So now I wonder, how did Hult help you and your team to get into the top 10 position? We were talking about networking, maybe. Anything else that you were thinking that might help you?
I think one of the things that I kept thinking about is just the journey that we've had as MBAs and the kind of skills that they've imparted into us. I think, first of all, having intercultural skills, being able to relate across various nationalities. We were a multinational team, and so Hult, I think, did a great job of preparing us for that dynamic. We had like 5 authentic leadership courses in our MBA. So we had a lot of training around soft skills, how to build strong teams outside of sort of competencies. So besides your strengths and what you know technically, what soft skills can you bring? Learning to listen better, learning to collaborate, learning to plan and coordinate. And those skills really, really helped us to create a strong team in the end.
Sorry, I love that specific thing that you mentioned is like how is Hult teaching you to be in a multicultural environment. I think like in our class, we were like 35 countries. And we were like 65. Like, I don't know how is it on the MBAs, but you just learn to like think differently, like with every perspective. And I think like that's one of the strongest things that you will learn here.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm coming from a background, let's say, more related to Asian. But whenever you're sitting in the class with, in our case, it's 44 different nationalities. And when you see like people from Latin America, they used to talk, right?
Yeah.
And they love to talk. And you are kind of energized. And you're energized. Whereas, let's say people from, let's say, Japan and China, they have tendency not to speak loud, right? Not to talk too much. And then you learn these different cultures and different approaches to different people. And I think it's extremely valuable if you want to work in a very global environment.
Yeah, it teaches you precisely what you said. Like there are some soft skills that can be only learned through practice.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you don't work with people coming from different continents, then you maybe like, create assumptions, create like some prejudices as well.
Right.
That if you learn to work with them, then it's gonna be way clearer, I would say.
Another level. And I think like this is something that Hult give us that not every school here in Boston will give you. I know that in different schools here, there's international students, but this is here I can say like, oh, I know in Hult there's like a few Americans. 100%. It's the opposite. So like, it's just funny.
We are in America, that's right. I forgot about it. No, seriously, as we always say, like Hult is like a whole word inside world building.
Absolutely.
But so now going back to the Harvard business case, I'm sure that like many listeners would be very interested to take this project for the next years. And what would be like actually one of your recommendations for them?
So I have to mention that during our case, folks actually gave me a lesson where they insisted on higher standards, and they kind of inculcate this on daily basis, and that actually increased our work ethics. So whenever, let's say, you are in a team, I think that it is extremely valuable that every person try to motivate you and try to motivate you in a better way.
Right.
Of course, there would be setbacks, there would be arguments. I mean, honestly speaking, we had a lot. But we created the environment where no is okay. I mean, no is okay. And actually, you can be used to it whenever you are ready or whenever your argument is a little bit weaker than your friends. And that what actually kind of differentiated us amongst other teams.
I think we have courses that they teach us how to create a safe environment in your team so you can feel comfortable sharing whatever idea that you have, and it's not going to be wrong.
Psychological safety.
Exactly. Take notes.
Exactly. That was like from our course. No, precisely as what we were saying, right? Like learning how to, of course, you chose your team, but soft skills and hard skills together make the dream team. So perfect. And as well, like we were talking about Hult alumni, Hult connections. I believe that that's very important as well, to learn about the different tips for how to approach this project, right?
Right.
I think it has been a privilege for you guys having like Hult alumni as the winner of the last year.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who's going to be better than someone that has been at the same school, shares the same values, I would say, because I mean, we are all here for some reason, and that they already won. So, and when you are an alumni, I know the community of alumni is really strong when it comes to be Hult. They will always say like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
You reach out to someone on LinkedIn or something, and they're like, okay, let's do it.
Tell me.
Yeah.
So I think like Hult is also relying on that, and I think that could be one thing that I would suggest everyone coming here to rely in alumni. Next year, you can look for them on.
We're here
You
for
can
you.
look for them on LinkedIn and ask for recommendations.
Read the description.
Maybe they will be like on the panel next
Ah,
year.
you see?
never
Who knows?
know, yeah.
You can reach them out by either listening to this episode or looking at the description. You see.
You will have more leverage if you say like, "Oh, I saw your episode." By the way."
You see.
Yeah.
So talking about this community that Hult provides, we tend to close our episodes with one question from our previous guest, which you don't know who he or she is. And they said to us, for you, what was the first initial thing that you did after your first breaking point?
You did, or you thought, or your reaction
Or
at this
you-
moment when you are like, feeling weak.
Or you have done already, and maybe like it's a pattern that you sometimes do.
I think for me, I think it would be pausing, because I tend to be a go person. So my breaking points are typically related to fatigue or burnout or something similar. So I think just literally stopping everything, pausing, and if I can escape, as in go away somewhere physically, whether it's go into a family's house or something, a different environment from my own, and just stopping everything. I mean, I'm off social media, my phone's off, I'm off the grid, just pausing and taking stock. I think that has been my response to some really low points in the
That's
past.
actually a great tip sometimes, to give it to yourself and say, everything is going so fast,
Yes.
so much. You just like need to take it a little bit slower, just like maybe sometimes
For yourself.
Exactly. A deep breath would help. If not, as you were saying, like a walk or literally having 1 or 2 days off. Yes. Thank you for
100%.
sharing that.
Of course.
Zane, do you have an idea?
Yeah, I have. And I would like to share my story because I think in my specific case, when I came here in US, it was extremely complicated. I mean, we are coming from different countries.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And Hult is 99.9% of
Yeah.
people coming from all over the world. I mean, I spent 20 hours to come here,
Yeah.
and I knew no one here. And after a month, I realized, oh my God, it's so complicated. So what can I do? And in this specific case, I was lucky enough to have one video. Do you know Tony Robbins? He's one of kind of motivational guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his advice was really simple, but kind of groundbreaking for me. He told, you have to be grateful, and you have to be thankful for who you are, because you are in Boston. Almost every person in the world would come to here, would
Right.
like to be on your place,
Yeah.
would like to have the same way of life. So you have to be thankful for it, and it will give you power.
Wow.
So on a daily basis, I was saying hey man,
Zane, I have goosebumps.
You're in Boston.
and I was saying, hey, you are very good. I mean, you are not the best because I have my own criteria, but I was saying hey, you're really good, and you have to be grateful for it. You have friends, you have teammates, you have colleagues, you have everything. So try to do your job and try to do it in a good way. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
love
can I
it.
just add
Of course,
that
of
Sure.
course.
Zain is absolutely amazing and brilliant at just speaking life and being a ball of positive energy. And even in our team, he would just not let us have a down day. Sometimes we're like, we're not going to make it. This is not making sense. Our presentation is not coming together. And there was Zain constantly over and over again. We're going to win, guys. We've got this. We're going to be in top 3. We're amazing. So just like kudos to you, Zain. He constantly just pushes people, motivates people, and is just brilliant at that. And that's something that I've learned, and I think our teammates also learned from
You
him.
see, like he not only just like embraced it,
Yeah.
but he was even able to share it and to show it, and
Right.
for you to learn it from him. That's
100%.
wonderful. Learn
True
from your
leader, I would
comrade.
say. I think like these true leaders are like the one who push the team, not pull,
Right.
Right.
right?
Right.
So, and you do it in a deep way, not
Yeah.
in like, okay, let's go, let's get the number, let's whatever. It's like
Exactly.
we got this, and
But I have to add that it's not about me, but it's all about the team, because we were all leaders.
That's what a great leader
No,
would say.
come on.
Right?
no,
Right?
and I would say it's
Yeah,
valid.
that's
It's valid
right.
because that's what I mean when you're pushing. Like
Yeah.
you are behind them pushing, and if they don't walk,
Right.
I mean, even if you work really
Definitely.
hard, nothing. Even if you pull, probably if you pull, like you can pull, and maybe they're moving, but
Right.
not because they want to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? So I think it's like super important to have, at least in every team and any organization, this role of a leader that would always, be the center and
Right.
put the team together. And hard times,
Right.
that's hard. Times is
Exactly.
like we got it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much,
So,
guys,
yeah,
for sharing
Thank you for
this.
sharing.
And now that you've given all of those tips and as well, like answers, do you have a guest for our next? Well, sorry, a question for our next guest.
Well, I will be a gentleman, and we'll hold it to you.
Wow, it's so nice.
I was really relying on Zain. Yeah, a good question for our next guest would be, man, I guess if you were not going to get paid for any kind of work that you do in the world, what is the work that you would pursue?
So doing a job not for the money that you
Yes.
receive, but for the job really that you really
Yeah.
like.
Yes,
I like it.
absolutely. I think that's a good question to reflect on.
That is hard.
No money, nothing.
So I'm just curious, what about you?
What a
You know,
gentleman.
Actually, I'm starting to think that I would probably do something in media. And ironic that I'm on this podcast. But I think
Nice.
I love people. I love conversations.
a good start.
I'm curious. So I think I would just have eternal conversations with people.
You see, whenever you want to come back to Voices of Hult, you're more than
Yeah.
welcome. We're
Definitely.
going to welcome you with open arms, I'm telling you.
Do you need an assistant?
To motivate me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you very, very much for being part of Voices of Hult. I hope that our audience enjoyed it. I definitely did. And thank you.
And I want to mention, probably this is one of the last episodes that Lydia and I will be making together here in Boston, because the summer classes are over and Lydia's moving to San Francisco. So I hope you enjoy this episode. And now we're going to have San Francisco Voices of Hult, Boston Voices of Hult, still working together. But
Exactly.
thank
Guys,
you,
let's cut
everyone.
it here. Otherwise, I'm going to cry.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.